Greetings and welcome to a brand new episode of Pops Collection. I'm Ron Tweedy. Joining me is Pops, and we saw Black Adam in theaters this opening weekend, and so we thought we would take this time to tell you all about that. So welcome.
Hello, everybody. Yes, I don't know if we're going to answer this question, but the question is Black Adam, villain or superhero? And I don't know if we'll be able to figure that out. But anyways, no spoilers in the beginning.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. I will say for a DC movie, a pretty relatively modest budget of 195 million.
Okay.
And it actually made for the first day 26.8 million.
Okay.
But they included 7 million for the early Thursday night releases.
Yeah, so we're a part of that.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And I did notice you put on there date night. Being an old guy, your mom and me, we went early bird show. So for us, it was date day.
Yeah.
But still, I thought it was good. Where do you want to start?
Well, yeah, let's start with spoiler-free stuff. So just, I would say that it took me probably about a day and a half to really form my full opinion of the film. And I might even change it after a subsequent watching, but it's a lot better than I thought it was. Part of it has that we had zero expectations for the vast majority of the story and the characters. A lot of it was pretty much unknown going into the film. But the more I thought about it, it's actually really good. And I guess, I'll say this now. There's no spoilers attached to this, but the movie by itself, it's a pretty middle of the road superhero genre movie. But when you compare it to the 2022 offerings that Marvel has put out, this movie is far superior to anything they put out so far. So that's my opinion.
Wow. I'm going to have to take another sip of coffee on that. Really? Wow. Boy. Yeah. I'm blown away.
Okay.
That you said that. I think I knew a little bit more about the Black Adam story than you did.
Sure.
So there were certain expectations that I had. And I feel that they stayed really close to the canon of the story.
Yeah.
So as far as that goes, I have to say that it was very good. Them throwing in a little bit of humor. I felt that it was a real heavy action-packed movie.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How did you feel about that?
Yeah, that was one thing that we thought about is, when we take our children to watch this film, and I can't say that we would, but not because of any the most part of it's the violence, right? It is one of the more violent superhero movies that is out there. If that's rated PG-13, but a lot of the violence is like cartoonish, like Tom and Jerry, outlandish type of violence. So it's not that bad, but at the same time, when it comes to a body count, this is probably one of the higher ones, I think.
Probably the highest. I'm going to have to say more body count than the new Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's fair.
Definitely.
That's fair. So from a first impression standpoint, spoiler free, I think I would recommend go seeing it if you're a fan of the genre of the movies that we cover, or if you're a DC fan, absolutely go. And yeah, it's actually better than compared to other movies of the same kind so far this year. This one is one of the better ones. So absolutely, you can go see it.
Yes, I would say that it. I feel that the CG in this movie was done pretty well.
It's uneven.
Yes.
Some of it was done very well. Some of it, and I'll talk more about it after we get past the spoiler mark. Is it's almost Axel floating head level ridiculous from Thor: Love and Thunder. So
yeah. I mean, but like I said, for the most part, I thought that it was good, but you think maybe a little more even. I think more towards the CG was done pretty well. There were quite a few spots that, like you said, really not so much, but
that's fair.
They kind of they went by in a point that you could almost miss it, but
sure.
But like there were some that I would like, oh man, that's awful. But there were a lot that were really, really good.
Yeah, that's fair.
And as far as the landscaping and a lot of that was done, I thought really, really well. The older buildings when they went to ancient times,
Okay.
I thought they did that pretty close. It was almost for me. I know you probably aren't going to like this, but I told your mom shades of Moon Knight here.
That's fair.
Some
fair comparison.
Yeah, I think that some of the actual CG in those areas with the landscaping was very similar. You know.
All right. Yeah. So let's. So what is there anything else you want to say, spoiler free, before we move on to that?
No, but I will say that we have a good cast of actors.
Yeah.
I think the actors were chosen real well. We do get a lot of repeat actors and actresses from other movies.
Yep.
And
wait, we do?
Well, yeah.
You're talking about the actors, not the characters. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
That's
actors.
Fair. Yeah.
I'm going to have to say that Viola Davis.
Yes.
It is got to be DC's Nick Fury.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that she showed up in this film.
Yes. And the teaser at the end, we got another character that I was happy to see.
Yeah, it was good. I thought that was well done. So yeah, good. All right.
So from that point on, we're spoiler for no more or more. Now we are going to be spoiler friendly.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So we did start out with our main characters. It was kind of like an expedition. I do have to say it was a movie close to my heart because we did have an electrician as one of the main characters.
That's fair enough. No, that's good.
Yeah, I thought about that. Which that was one of the funny things too later on.
Yeah, totally.
Yes. And we got the Justice Society.
Yes.
In this.
Which
would predate the Justice League.
Yes.
So this story would be back in time a little bit. Maybe. What do you think?
No, I think it has to be.
It has to be current, right?
It has. Yeah, I mean, it has to be post Justice League, right? At least.
Yes.
So
I would think.
Yeah, given, like you said, the post credit sequence. So
yes.
So I think that's probably fair.
Yes. So we did get like a little excursion where they're attempting to locate this evil crown.
Yeah.
And then we get what I thought originally in my mind was the story that Black Adam,
Uh-huh.
that he was the first Shazam,
Sort of,
you
yeah.
know, the first Captain Marvel, but uh, different time, you know, different
Di-
era.
Different gods. Yeah. I mean,
Yes,
it's very, yeah. It stands to reason that you would have, like, the wizards from the Shazam film, the group of them be
right.
involved, and that there would be, that power is older than the gods in Shazam, which is, it's an interesting concept. I think it is.
Yes,
um and the story itself, it really actually has, where it starts picking up is around, this nation of Kandak, which is, I think it's how you pronounce it.
yes,
But
yes.
it's similar to, I would say, maybe Iraq or um, Iran. So the Middle Eastern cradle of civilization area has a long history, and so this um, Tet Adam is the people's champion, and so he finally comes back when Kandak is also under uh, rule by,
The
it seems to be like
underworld, right?
what's that?
Like an underworld.
Yeah, it's like a gang essentially. It's ruled by
Yes,
gangs,
yes.
but so yeah, he comes back, and it's interesting, like an old hero comes back. Um, that's actually a story I've been thinking about creating as well. So um, it's kind of still coming.
In your
There's
mind, yes.
yeah, yeah. So I see a lot of parallels to what I've been working on, but it's not, location's totally different.
Yes. Well, you know, it's kind of interesting that you should say that because, like I said, we got the Justice Society in this,
That's right.
which we got Aldous Hodge playing Carter Hall Hawkman.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And then, of course, we had Noah Centineo to
Hmm.
play Atom Smasher,
Yeah.
which I actually, like I've told you about the serials in the 30s and 40s,
Yeah.
there was, like I told you, a Captain America that was so totally not like the comics.
Right.
We also had an Atom Smasher who was so totally not like the comics. He didn't grow big or anything like
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
you know, but it was for the era, you know,
Yeah.
during the wars and stuff. But
Yeah.
again, a character that goes way back.
Uh huh. Yeah.
And
That to me was interesting because, obviously, the particularly Amanda Waller, that character, which I think Viola Davis's portrayal of her is probably one of the best. She's kind of like Charlie Cox to Daredevil. I mean, it's
that's her
perfectly
role.
casted. The
Oh,
the way
yes.
she portrays it, she's definitely one of the bigger, I think, the bigger pillars of the DC film thing. So, but up until now, she's only been involved in the Suicide Squad stuff. So the fact that she also has connections with Justice Society is interesting.
Right.
So
Well, she also had teaser with Batman Superman v Superman. It was like a teaser at the end where
that must have been the
Bruce
director's cut.
Wayne gave her maybe, well, it was at the very end
Yeah. Okay.
that they did it like a teaser where she gave him all of the paperwork on the Flash and
Yeah.
Cyborg and stuff.
I don't
So
remember any of that.
okay, well, she did have that one little part there
Yeah.
too.
But
So
you're right. Very much a Nick Fury type character, kind of orchestrating things from
yes,
the background, which is it's I think she's actually a more interesting character than Nick Fury because
well, yes, because I think she's got you know, it's whatever she's got to do to get the agenda
right,
going.
she
You
is
know,
more ruthless than Nick Fury ever could be, I think.
absolutely,
So I
no
think
question about
that
that.
that's what makes Viola Davis's performance so good, is because she is, she really plays that
Right,
perfectly.
and she plays the character the way it's written in the
Yeah,
comics.
of course, yeah,
You
and she
know,
does it super well, and that is,
absolutely.
even though it's like she has a small part in the film, she really does kind of bring it all together, because now we have to assemble a team to take care of this appearance now of Teth Adam.
Teth Adam, yes.
Yep.
And he's Teth Adam through almost the entire movie till the
No,
end.
the entire movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
we'll get to that at the end, because I had a bit of a chuckle when
yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay.
But yeah. So rounding out Justice Society, you already mentioned Hawkman and Atom Smasher, but we also have the Dr. Fate by Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
And I'm trying to remember what her name was. Cyclone, Quintessa Swindell portrays her.
Yes.
And I have to say that, like, every single one of the folks at the JSA, every character, I think, was played extremely well. I think they were written extremely well. There was no, there was completely devoid of any type of woke nonsense. Everybody was there just to do their job. That, some of the folks, depending on what they suffered in the past, it doesn't define them. They rose above that. They worked as a team. They had there was pretty rough going in the beginning, but they finally coalesced around each other and were able to complete the mission. So, I mean, I couldn't have been happier with, that stuff was totally refreshing, after, seeing how bad Marvel has mucked it up.
Yes. And I do have to say, I enjoyed the cameo FaceTime appearance of Val Rothstein's uncle.
Yeah, the original Atom Smasher, aka the Fonz, right?
The Fonz, yes.
That was cute. Yeah,
I thought, what? And he's like, don't mess up the suit. It's like, okay, so we're gonna have some issues with that. Yeah. This guy, I can see.
Yeah, so. That was refreshing as well. We have a little bit of a family angle there. It's really wholesome, and I thought that was just great. I mean, like I said, again, it's not going to wow you. It's not like an Iron Man or a Thor Ragnarok. But it's just a really well done movie for what it is. And again, like I said, in 2020, it's way better than anything else that's come out. So
I 2022
since 2020, I should
since 2020.
Yeah.
Well, what about the Suicide Squad back then?
The Suicide Squad, it's okay. It's not great.
The gun Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than the original Suicide Squad. I'll grant them that,
but this is better than that one, you think?
Yeah, way better. Not as good as the Batman, but this is really good too.
Yes, it is. I do have to say that your mom chose Dr. Fate's helmet.
Yeah,
she was like, "Oh yeah, it's the helmet of truth." And I said, well, yeah, I guess technically it could be,
Yeah.
Yeah. But she got that out of that. And
I do find it funny that, we have another doctor who is a wizard who can see into the future. And, it's just funny that, both.
Well, like, we got to say that that's basically, the way the comics work. And I'm starting to think that, maybe it was Stan or his editor that said, hey, because when they came out with Justice League or Justice Society, he was like, hey, we have to have a team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how he came up with the Fantastic Four. I'm wondering if he came up with Doctor Strange after Dr. Fate.
Yeah, Dr. Fate did come out first. He was 1940s, his first appearance. So we can't, it's one of those things, and the same thing. And the funny thing is that if anybody complains about that, next month we're going to see a movie from Marvel about a Prince of Atlantis coming to invade the land. So,
yes.
Hello, yes. Aquaman, right?
Yes. And, it's kind of interesting. In the comics, I have Namor comics.
Yeah.
Some of the newer ones from the late 1990s, 2000. But I always read about Namor way back in the day because he was an enemy of Fantastic Four.
Well, he was the first.
you know,
He
and
was the first. He was in Marvel Comics #1. So
yeah, and he was, going after Sue Storm. He wanted to make
yep,
her,
right.
that was the story. So
Yep.
I am that part of Wakanda Forever. I am definitely looking forward to seeing their depiction of it
Uh-huh.
and seeing how they go with it.
Okay.
But that was one of the trailers before this movie.
Yeah, I didn't get
And
that.
well, you didn't miss much. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they don't really reveal much about the film because I think they got to cover a lot of ground because they have to explain what happens to T'Challa and all that stuff. So I get it, and I've mentioned this several times. I'll say it again that Wakanda Forever does not. It should not have to carry the weight of the entire MCU. But unfortunately, they put them in that situation. I hate it for them because it should just
Yes,
be a good superhero movie. But we'll see what happens.
it should be.
But we're talking about Black Adam. We'll talk
That's
about Black
right.
Panther next month.
Yes.
So
Yes.
So I did like I said, I think the Justice Society was a great. At the beginning, I was like, I don't care about any of these characters. By the end of the movie, I was like, okay, this is fun. It was really good. So I thought that was.
Yes, I think they did good on the ship, the
Yeah,
jet.
yeah, that's fun. Well, that's the part I was going to tell you about with the CGI.
Yeah.
Is however the Hawkman's garden disassembled itself for the jet to take off. I thought that looked stupid. It was terrible. It was like late '90s CGI. That was bad. Most of the other stuff was okay.
All I can tell you is that was one of the times that I laughed that there was no joke being told. When I saw that, it was like, what?
I don't know why they did that. It didn't make any sense. They could have completely done without it. No, we did not need to know to see where the jet came from. That was not necessary. So.
Nope. Or all they had to do was just open it straight up. They didn't have to go through all that nonsense,
Yeah. Yep.
It almost kind of reminded me of the Thunderbirds.
Okay.
The
That's right.
Puppet ones. It was kind of the same thing or similar.
Yep.
So yes. So we got them going away.
Yep.
And heading over to go against Black Adam.
Right.
So Black Adam, hero or villain at this time?
So I would say I would put him as chaotic good, right? That's what I'm going to put him at.
Okay, at this time.
Well,
of the movie,
I think by the end of the movie, that's what he is. It's kind of we have kind of like a Shang-Chi thing where the origin story keeps on getting told, and we're getting just a little bit more detail each time it's being retold. So we don't get the full story of why he is the way he is until close to the
very end of the movie. Yes.
So
close to it.
But like I said, a lot of Teth Adams' choices on how he deals with his enemies definitely makes one of the more violent Marvel movies that are PG or DC movies that make it PG-13. So
right. Well, I think that's the whole thing. It's PG-13 is the violence.
Yeah.
There's not much of anything else that would put it in that category.
No. No. And then the other thing that I would say, kind of to its disadvantage, there's a couple things, but the other thing that I thought is that the soundtrack was pretty uneven.
There were some good spots, but I would agree with you. There were a lot of bad spots.
Well,
too.
I think it's just out of place. There's no real reason why you would have the songs playing in the background that are playing. Things like Smashing Pumpkins or Rolling Stones.
Yes.
There's
no real. Although I do like that Smashing Pumpkins song.
I do too. I like it a lot. But my point is that there's no real justification.
Did need to be there
because I'll compare it to something that's been done really well, which is the Guardians movies. There is a reason why the soundtrack is the way it is. It's because Peter Quill as a child was abducted, so the only good music that he knows is music from back in the day.
Right.
So that makes perfect sense why the soundtrack is the way it is. It's amazing. with Black Adam, he doesn't know of any music at all.
No.
So it's kind of out of place there. So to me that was a little uneven, but like I said, that's like a nitpicky thing. It's not nothing, it's not too bad, and it's not in its
Yes.
favor. I can deal with that.
Yes. Also, his infinity for making new doors.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yes, yes, and they made a little sarcasm out of it. He learned what sarcasm was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
Dr.
much like a
Fate.
Drax character, right?
Yes, yes,
Nothing goes over my
definitely.
head. I don't catch
Yes.
it. So
Yes. And of course, I did love when the character, the mother, her brother,
yeah,
when he got shot,
yeah.
and Dr. Fate says,
Yeah.
"No, don't worry. You're not. I've seen how you die. You're not going to die this way." And he goes, "What? Wait! Tell me." And he goes, "Just stay away from electricity." What? I'm an electrician. It's like I laughed so hard when
Yeah,
I
I figured you
that.
would. That was just for you, I think.
I think it was.
Yeah, that was
They
funny.
knew that I was going to watch it. They,
Yeah,
listen to Pop's Collection. They know I'm an electrician, so
yeah.
they
That
had
was
to add it to the movie.
that was nice. That was a nice touch. I did like that a lot. And,
Yeah.
and the other thing about Pierce Brosnan's performance, it really reminded me of kind of like a Alec Guinness Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's like
Yes.
he's kind of like the old wizard helping the main characters along, and at the end he graciously sacrifices himself for the greater good. So
Right, same as Obi-Wan.
I think he gave a great performance, even though he's my least favorite Bond. I think he did a fantastic job at this.
Yes, he did. Very good. And you can tell, I don't know how much of it was makeup, but he is getting up there in age.
Yeah, for sure.
But he did the part well.
Yeah, I agree.
I liked all the characters.
Yeah, and I think for me, particularly for Dwayne Johnson's performance as Teth Adam, I think I had a very low bar for him. I do think that actors who come from sports entertainment, I'll use the preferred term. I think they do get a bad rap a lot of times because you have to have a certain acting ability to be in that industry for that long and be successful as well. And a lot of people don't appreciate that. So I have to say that, we get a good performance out of The Rock. And the other thing is that from a CG perspective, I had a very low bar because I remember the Scorpion King and how terrible that was. So they didn't have to do that much more to exceed my expectations. So
right, and I, for the most part, like I said, it was good.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was great. I mean, this is like I said, if you're looking at it just as a superhero movie, how is this? It does the job. But if you look at it as a superhero movie in 2022, it's a great movie.
Yes.
Which, to me, I wasn't expecting at all. I had no expectations.
Right. Again, when the last time I saw you and I said we should watch the animated Superman Shazam and you kind of poo-pooed it, you shouldn't have. You would have known a little bit more.
Fair enough. But I'm hoping that it does set up the Fury of the Gods film, the new Shazam film.
Oh, yeah.
He'll make an appearance there. I hope he will, because it would be a really good connection to that. So we'll see.
Well, I do have to say that was also one of the trailers that they showed before the movie.
That's
and
what we
saw. That was really good. I'm actually looking forward to that almost as much as I'm looking forward to seeing Mario.
Yeah, that was the other one that we saw. We saw the original when it came out on YouTube. The boys saw it. I guess it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But seeing it on the big screen actually was a lot better of an
Oh
experience.
yes,
Yeah, it was really cool.
definitely.
It's really
And
cool.
and your mom and me, the first thing we said is, I know the grandkids are going to love this.
Yeah, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes. So, but anyways, back to Black Adam.
Yeah.
Let's
So yeah, I think to answer your question, I think that it's a big question to ask: is he hero or villain? I still think he is kind of in the chaotic good spectrum of alignment, and I think basically that you know that land needed a champion, and now he's that champion. So I think that's how it works, and then it kind of gets confirmed after the credits. We get to see his little communication with Viola Davis, and his claim
Yes.
that nobody on Earth can defeat him, and she says, "Well, that's fine. We have folks that are away from Earth that can deal with you."
Yes, and that's when we get this little thing with Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I mean, it. I have to say, it was good seeing him again. It was, and he didn't have his mustache digitally altered. It was great.
It was like, wow.
Yeah,
I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, it was good. I thought that was well done.
Well, one country's hero is another country's villain. It could be said.
Possibly.
Or could say it's just like wrestling. Sometimes
you're the heel, sometimes you're the face.
heel.
Yeah.
Yes, so I mean, which he's played that part already. So
Sure.
It's real comfortable for him,
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He started out as the baby face as Rocky Maivia, and then he did the heel turn with the Nation of Domination, and then yeah, it's funny.
So, but he is a good actor.
Yeah, like I said, I think you have to be a good actor to be successful in that industry. You have to be.
Yes.
Because it's not just you have to be that way inside the ring and during interviews or whatever. That's part of it, but then part of your contract that you sign is you have to remain in character whenever you're out in public. So you have to think about how much he had to be in character as The Rock for how long,
right? And how much could he be himself,
right,
with his family,
right. So anyway, I said, pleasantly surprised, delightful. It's 100% a recommend for me.
I'm going to say that movie was probably 90% action packed.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Yes, there was very few times where you was able to take a breath, and actually hear part of the story.
Right.
So I mean, it's a definitely go see.
Yeah,
all the way.
100%. All right.
And I can tell you, when it comes out on DVD, I will buy it, and we will watch it again.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good deal. Well, let's wrap it up. Any last thoughts or anything final wise?
No, looking forward to our next week's show also.
Yes, we will have a special edition episode that might release a day early. And if you're checking your calendars, you'll probably figure out what it's about. But we'll talk to you about that next time. But thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you next week with something special. Goodbye and God bless.
Goodbye, God bless, and tell your friends.